Good morning and welcome. Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason on this Tuesday, and I got a little something going on. I don't know what it is, but you know how it is. It actually got cold. Well, cold for Arizona anyway. Yesterday, the wind's been blowing. It's cold this morning. Speaking of cold, Wall Street. Really cold. A big down day yesterday. A bigger down day so far today as the tariffs started. So here we go, right? The trade war has begun really pretty much as expected. I did not see any exceptions with the one note of energy. Oil from Canada will only be hit at 10%, but everything else 25%. Of course, an additional 10% on China and their goods. Don't forget, April 2nd, the day after April's Fool's Day, it's Europe's turn. 25% coming from there. So we've heard from the Chinese. They have announced countermeasures. Canada has announced countermeasures. What is countermeasures? They're going to tariff our stuff. They're also going to stop buying some of our stuff. Then the Mexican president, she was out this morning. They're going to come out with their response on Saturday. But right now, on the EU, they're expecting 25% across the board as well. Like I said, with the exception of the Canadian energy and the China right now. So they've hit us with a 15% tariff on a bunch of goods. They are going to suspend imports of U.S. lumber effective immediately. Now, I don't know how big that is. And this one's going to hurt, this next one. And this has kind of been a problem for our farmers. Brazil has really been the beneficiary, but China's going to suspend soybean imports from 3 U.S. companies. So that will be a big one there as well. So, Jason, the trade war is definitely in full effect here this morning. The Dow was down 650 points yesterday. Right now, down another 800 points and counting. Right now, today, the S&P's down 100, the Nasdaq's down 300. Gold's up, right back about 2,900. Gold just doesn't like 2,800, apparently. Remember, Jason, we kind of skipped, we went from 27 to 29, and every time it goes into 2,800, it never stays there very long. But this is it. This is what we're going to expect. A lot of companies out today. Target says that prices will increase in a matter of days. So I would say that was something unexpected. We were hoping it would be at least a couple of weeks. But Target also had earnings today, said that the customer has really fallen off, what they are calling a meaningful drop in quarterly profits. Also, ongoing customer uncertainty, very soft sales in February out of Target this morning. Not to be outdone, Best Buy, same thing. Price increases highly likely due to the Trump tariffs, and also really on par with what Target had to say. Hey, the consumer has slowed way down here, Jason.
Well, we said, Walmart has verified the same. I think anybody...
Yeah, Walmart said that last week, right?
Yep. So I think anyone that owns a business is seeing less foot traffic, Joe. It's pretty plain to see. And this has been going on the last, I would say, almost 3 years. 2022, it started to slow down. The inflation was still hot. But 2023, kind of slowing down, right, Joey? Well, things were still going on. But last year, things slowed down already. And we have yet to see how much slower it gets this year. But with the headwinds that seem to be blowing right now, it doesn't look too good, Joe.
Yeah, I think the timing of all of this, and it's really simple, guys. Listen, there's going to be an adjustment period, and it's going to get uncomfortable. How big is, right, what we want to avoid is another one of these, the financial crisis meltdown. But with all the firings going on, another big wave today. A lot of companies trying to reduce headcounts now. So this thing is starting to spread. We thought it would. It appears that it is. Like I said, the next 3 days, we get all jobs numbers. So tomorrow, we get ADP. That's the private sector. All eyes will be Thursday's jobless claims. How high will they be? We jumped into the 242,000 last week. Are we going to go higher than that? Are we going to see 270,000 people hitting the unemployment line for the very first time? And then the big government number of jobs created will come on Friday. And if these numbers come in weak, I think you can expect to see gold and once again challenge 3,000 again this week. We'll be back. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason here on this Tuesday. Yesterday also, Donald Trump suspending aid to Ukraine. We'll update that as well. Apparently a big change of tune from Zelensky this morning, but we'll get to it. But right now, the Dow's down 700 points. It's been down as much as 800 points. The NASDAQ and the S&P significantly lower. I'm watching this 10-year note here, 414. So we've got a big backup here in the 10-year note. And when the 10-year note drops like this, that is a sign the bond markets are very worried about what's going on in the economy. And again, we're looking at the yield curve right now. The 3-month is still inverted, but no further inversion as of yet. So I'll view that, well, at least there's a little bit of positivity here. Gold's up $15, $29.10. Silver off 10 cents here, 31.57, 31.57. I think a lot of that is a worry about are we going to go into are we going to have a global recession with these trade wars? Moody's was out, and we're kind of watching now. We're hearing from, like I said, we heard from Walmart last week. We heard from Target today. We heard from Best Buy today saying, hey, listen, prices are going up. Barclays this morning, the big three, so Ford, GM, Stellantis, are going to have to raise prices, or essentially they'll have to sell vehicles at a loss coming out of Barclays today. And, of course, remember, people are talking 8, 10, 12 grand, depending on the type of vehicles. And then AutoZone, another down quarter from them. So things are starting to stack up here. But Mark Zandi from Moody's Analytics, he's a guy, he's on the TV almost constantly and said that they were talking about the tariffs. Scott Bessent over the weekend tried, don't worry, it won't be that inflationary. It'll be okay. Moody's saying, He goes, this isn't like the last Trump tariffs. Remember, Trump did tariffs the last time, mostly on China, and I think it never got above 10%. But that was at a time when inflation here, remember, was low. And now Moody's is saying the tax on the American consumer is coming. They're saying that it's going to add about I don't know how they know this, but who knows, another $1,250 it's going to cost the American consumer in the trade war. And then the Atlanta Federal Reserve, they do the GDP calculations right now. First quarter GDP negative 2.8. Now, I'm not super excited about this yet because it's early. But when we start looking at all the gold that is poured into the U.S., the trade deficit, I think, is going to be much bigger. Jason, it sure looks like we're setting ourselves up. Now, things could change, but most of the January numbers are in, and we're getting into the February numbers, and the Atlanta GDP, we're talking about almost negative 3% right now. So we're going to have to watch it, but it looks like there's a very good chance we may have a contraction in first quarter GDP. And remember, you need 2 straight quarters of contraction for it to be a quote-unquote recession. And that really fits. We've been warning. We are 5 months in. March is month 6 when the yield curve uninverted the last time, Jason, right on schedule here.
Yeah, and didn't we have two quarters of contraction, like it was in 2022, and then they just said, no, that's not a recession.
That one didn't count. I forgot why they said it didn't count, but it didn't count for whatever reason.
So why do I get the feeling if it happens again, maybe it won't count this time as well? Maybe they'll just, like calculating inflation, maybe they'll just change the rules, the verbiage. Let's just change the meaning of what a recession is. We could be in the middle of a massive recession, I'll say, and then I could see this. Oh, it's not as bad. It's not what you think. This is not a recession. Sometimes it feels like we've been in a recession this whole time, Joe. It just is as slow as things have gotten.
Kind of feels that way. You know what? This one feels a little different to me. Because, listen, I'm here in Arizona, right in the heart of, when you think growing states, you always think Arizona, right? Texas, right? Arizona, the Carolinas, right? The warmer weather states, Florida. Things have slowed here. We're starting to see restaurants close. We're starting to see the effects of these store closings now, right? The going out of business signs, they're starting to pop up. It's all going to be about this trade war and jobs, and right on cue, Saxo Bank, now the latest, they've come out with a new price target saying, hey, and I said this already, don't be surprised we hit 3,000 this week. Don't be surprised. It's in the cards here. I think it's going to depend on the jobs. How weak are the jobs? And then they have raised their forecast for the year. Jason, they're up to 3,300 now in ounce. And this is something, remember, I was telling you 3,300 was going to be the number in October, November, and December of last year. It just takes these guys a while to catch up.
Well, and like 2024 shows, it can move and just keep on moving. I mean, we still got to remind ourselves that 2,000 gold on Valentine's Day last year turned into 2,500 gold just a few months later. So it can move very quickly. And a move like that, percentage-wise, that's 25%. What if it goes 25% from where it's at now? What is that? $600? We could be looking at 3,500 gold.
Yeah, listen. 33, I think, is things didn't go horrible. It could definitely be much higher than that. Okay, so Canada now, Justin Trudeau, 25% levy on $30 billion of U.S. imports effective immediately. Another $125 billion will take place in 3 weeks. The Mexican president, like we said, will update us on Saturday. So, Jason, again, the moves keep coming here here we go. Yeah, the Dow didn't like that. Down 800 points again as this trade war continues to heat up. In other news, President Zelensky, so last night, well, I guess it was yesterday. It was later in the afternoon. Trump announced, "Hey, I think we're gonna pause aid to Ukraine." This morning, Zelensky is now saying that he's ready to sign a minerals deal with the United States, but I haven't seen anything else other than Zelensky saying that he wants to make things right with Trump, saying that the White House meeting was regrettable and is ready to work under Trump's strong leadership for peace. So maybe Trump got his attention. We'll have to see. We've seen this from Zelensky before. He'll say the right thing and then, just kidding, never mind. But I guess the one piece of good news in a day of a lot of bad news, Jason.
Well, and you said Trump is speaking next week. Is that it? And we'll see what he has.
Listen, Trump's going to speak tonight, right?
Tonight. Okay, it's tonight.
It's not a State of the Union, but right next to it. For a lot of people, you think, it's a State of the Union. It's not a State of the Union address, but it's right next to that. Anything could happen there. I think a lot of people, Donald Trump, he's going to say what's on his mind. It's going to be interesting what he has to say tonight anyway, as Wall Street's having another tough day so far today.
Yeah, since the middle of last week, the Dow's down about 1,500 points. So it's starting to look like it might be something, right, Joe? It might be this, might be it.
Dow's down 1,500 points in the last 2 days. So yesterday and today, 1,500 points right now. And it's getting close here to having to start to worry a little bit. Now, remember, next week we get more, right? The budget. Are we going to get a situation where Wall Street, remember, and I've been harping on you to get more diversified. I've been begging you to be more diversified. You've got big IRAs. You got to take a piece of it. Call us. Get a precious metals IRA set up. Get it done. Have some safety because, as we said, the market was priced to perfection, right? When you had, like NVIDIA, their earnings weren't horrible. Their stock was down almost 10% yesterday because it had to be perfect. Then when you hear Target and Best Buy kind of say, Gus, the consumer went away. Then, oh, by the way, we're going to be raising prices because of tariffs. I think this is something where I think people are going to be surprised, Jason, at how perfect the market really had to be here. And are probably going to get caught off guard with the potential for are we going to see the Dow back in the 30,000s? I think right now it's likely But that's something that it needs to be. The fear is, does it get worse than that? And we won't know right now. Right now, anyway, it looks like all these countries are kind of digging their heels in. Right? China's digging in, Canada's digging in, Mexico's digging in, and remember, in April, the 2nd of April, it's Europe's turn.
Yeah, there's a lot of overvalue in the stock market all the way through, right, Joe? There's a lot. It just seems like there's a lot of room, and there's going to be a lot of profit taking coming here pretty soon. The biggest names have been pulling out for 2 years, right, Joe? Warren Buffett didn't amass his cash position in the last 6 months. Right. This has been going on for 2 years, since 2023. I mean, some of these guys have been selling since 2022, but the biggest players have been walking out of the market. The market can't hold these higher numbers when the biggest players are selling. So we're gonna be watching something. March might be one of those Marches where things start to fall apart. I mean, there's no COVID this time, Joe, but it fell apart in March in 2020. Remember that? Late February, March, and things just went down.
Well, they do call it March Madness for a reason, right? The basketball tournament, the NCAA basketball, it's March Madness. It may just be March Madness this year. Patriot Radio News Hour will be back right after the break. We're back here. Patriot Radio News Hour, Joe and Jason on this Tuesday. Obviously, a lot going on. The start of the trade war, on top of weakening GDP here in the first quarter. And really, Target got us off on the wrong foot. Best Buy didn't help. And now we're starting to get all the responses from all of these other nations out there. And remember, right, Europe, you're next. The Dow down 820 points. The S&P's down 1,000. The Nasdaq's down 280. Like I said, gold's up $16, $15, $29.10. $20 liberties, $29.95. And we've been talking about how these premiums are rising. They've been rising again. This is still a great – think about this. Spot's $29.10. That's not that much. That's peanuts over the spot price. But this is just – we're getting to that point, right? Every time we get into this 2,900 level, now you just, okay, is this the last time you can buy gold for $3,000? And here's the difference. This time, the premiums are up. The last few times, premiums were still down. Jason, this may be it. We'll see. I don't have a crystal ball per se. But all the indications are these jobs numbers are going to be pretty weak. And I think this is going to drive gold higher. I think it's going to drive the dollar down. I mean, we're all eyes on this 10-year note that's at 4.14. Could we see a 10-year note below 4%? It's possible. It really, really is. And I think this is something, any gold you can get under $3,000, you buy it, and you buy all of it that you can. $20 liberties, $29.95 at 800-951-0592. And Trump talking about this crypto reserve. Boy, the markets remember, it went crazy, went up like 14,000 points. Took it all back, right? You know what's funny with crypto? At least right now, it's in a pattern I don't like, which is when Wall Street's down, crypto's down. And that's a pattern that we don't like to see. But right now, all the way back down to 82,000 again, Jason, on the crypto. But speculation, people are saying, hey, could we revalue gold and buy some crypto with it? Could we revalue gold and hand it to the Treasury? I think a lot of options are on the table But I do think sooner or later, and what I mean by sooner, within the next 2 years, Jason, I think they're going to be forced to revalue gold. I really do. I don't think they'll have a choice but to have to do it. And I think that propels, I don't know, maybe another $1,000 to the price of gold with revaluation, because it becomes such an important part of the balance sheet. A lot of speculation, and rightfully so, because the debt's a mess. It's an absolute mess. Listen, we don't even know what the debt is right now, right? We're in the emergency measures. We know it's around $37 trillion, but we don't know. Now we're faced with the worst scenario has always been a slowing economy and higher prices, right? That's the stagflation scenario. Trump wants the inflation scenario, which means, yeah, we got higher prices, but the economy's growing, right? We're at least we're going to try to grow out of it. Right now, Jason, at least for right this second, we're in this period here, this lull. How much does this get away from us? Well, we'll have to wait and see. But I think this is going to put a lot of pressure on Congress to spend a lot of money. If this week is like I think, and we get a really bad jobs week, next week I think there'll be a lot of pressure on Congress to spend a lot of money.
Government shutdown, maybe?
I hope not. I hope not. I think
Thomas Massey last year.
There's going to be a threat. There will be the threat. There's going to be the threat of a government shutdown. I wouldn't be surprised if the United States, we get something done, and I wouldn't be surprised if the big three, at least one of the big three, will probably put us on credit watch negative. That would be, which will mean, hey, we're going to get ready to cut the United States debt again. Right? Right now, all three have cut it once, but I think that's probably we're going to get a threat of a shutdown. I think we're going to get a massive amount of spending, and I think quite possibly with that a warning of another credit downgrade coming. Which again, boy, Saxo just said $3,300 gold. You got all of that going on, Jason. It could happen a lot sooner than people are really anticipating.
Thomas Massey was talking last year about how it was going to go and how there would be all this, drama and for the people to see, and then what he said, and then the conservatives and liberals will then just get all the stuff they want passed. It'll all get funded. So I would expect a huge increase in spending, Joe, to get passed, and they'll probably kick up a lot of dirt to make people think they're trying to do something. But I don't see how they cut the spending, Joe. I mean, Doge is out there kicking around saying we're going to cut this and cut that, but if they cut $1 trillion off expenditures and then they spend $2 trillion more, it's not going to work. You can cut $500 billion and then add $1 trillion. It's a shell game, Joe. It really is.
Just remember, I just want to point this out. It's taking $6 of spending to get $1 of growth. So just remember that when we talk about how much spending would really need to occur, and at the same time, how high are we going to see gold prices go because of this? $20 gold pieces, $29.95 at 800-951-0592. When we get back, what's going on at Walgreens? Are they getting ready to go private? And how many stores are they really going to close? We'll be back after the break. 800-951-0592. Gold up $17 now. 29.12. Silver just went positive here, approaching $32 to the ounce. A big down day. Another one on Wall Street here. One bright spot, Walgreens, but not for a good reason. The struggling retailer looking to sell itself to Sycamore Partners. That's a hedge fund. And the thought is that they're going to take Walgreens private, probably close even more stores, and then try to do an IPO right later. And hopefully, the IPO is worth more than $10 billion. But here's the thing, $10 billion. That's it for Walgreens? This was a company that had a market, it was way over $100 billion. By the way, before this, it was down to $8 billion. So Sycamore say, well, Jason, we'll give you 10. By the way, Walgreens was at a 28-year low. And I'm just going to tell you, Medicaid, Medicare, I think the Trump administration is realizing we're going to have to make some cuts. No Medicare, or I'm sorry, Medicaid is definitely one of the areas that they're trying to cut here. But Jason, this just gives you an idea of how little value a lot of these companies are. You talk about like Tesla. By the way, Tesla stock down like 30% now over the last year, not even year, but like this year. All of a sudden now, but yet their market cap, you can add up all the other automakers, and it's less than Tesla. Didn't you hear like Walgreens is only worth $8 billion, right? And some company says, well, we'll give you 10 so we can take it private. I have a feeling, I don't know, maybe add another 1,000 Walgreens to the closing list with this before Sycamore tries to take them out of and make them public once again. But Jason, this is what I'm saying. This is this perfection that we keep talking about. This thing's on a knife edge here.
Yeah, Walgreens. That's a pretty big one. I mean, for me, it's around here. I mean, there's these drugstores are just closing down. It's not good. I mean, pharmaceuticals are a huge business. I guess maybe they don't need Walgreens anymore, Joe. I guess everything is a little more streamlined in today's society. Have stuff mailed to you, have some shipped to you. We're kind of shrinking. Society seems to be shrinking in as far as what there is to do and places to go and places to, especially to shop, Joe. Remember the choices we used to have when we were younger years ago? There were all these different things, all these different places you could choose from, and kids used to have all kinds of things to go do and all kinds of places to go to have fun. And it seems like every year it's just less and less. They just want us all just sort of zoned in, stay at home, get on your device, consume from home, and stay in place.
Right.
Yeah.
It's something where as we're kind of watching how all of this is going to play out, it's their CEO, Walgreens CEO, when they released their crappy earnings a few weeks ago. Oh, well, gosh, the consumer didn't like it when we locked everything up. What did you think was going to happen? Right? Right? People are not going to, we're not doing that. And I think that Jason, like you said, well, gosh, if you're going to lock everything up, I'm just going to order it from my device from Amazon, and the heck with you guys.
Yeah, I've seen the videos of the Amazon blimp. It looks like a beehive, basically, and you have all these drones doing the deliveries and the receiving of packages. The thing just kind of floats over, slowly goes over several cities over the course of a day. The future is going to be weird, Joe, and is it going to be a privilege just to go out and do stuff? Are you going to be lucky just to be someone that leaves the house and gets to actually be a a free person, because they sure seem to want us all locked up in our nice little homes. Just consume. Just watch the TV, and the TV will tell you what you like. And don't go to the store. We're not going to give you stores to go to. They can't handle it. It's too expensive.
Stores are a problem. They're a problem. You know, people steal stuff, and you got the homeless people. I got my employees that steal. I got everybody, blah, blah, blah. HR and lawsuits. We're just going to get rid of it all. You're not that far away.
You look at an Amazon warehouse, the more automated ones, they have these machines, the robots are going back and forth and doing half the work. I've seen some of these Amazon workers, Joe. Have you seen the stuff where because of efficiency, they want these Amazon workers to move so much product per hour. They're looking at every little thing they're doing. If you don't move enough product in a certain amount of hours, they'll just get rid of you and get somebody else in there. And some of these people, to make their numbers, they won't go to the bathroom. They have a jug, and right there on the floor, they just. If it's a man, I guess you take care of business and keep working, because you just can't walk across the warehouse floor and take a moment to relieve yourself. It's insane. I feel real bad for the W-2 worker out there. The W-2 worker is getting just treated like a slave. I mean, these truck drivers that have cameras in their face 24 hours a day. You can't even wipe your nose. I think I had one of our customers said he put a pencil in his mouth, and the computer in the truck told him that he was violating company policy for smoking while he's driving. Right? Because the thing is watching him, and he had a pencil in his mouth. I feel it's a icky world I think we're moving into, and it's because nobody can afford to be free, Joe.
Well, you got gold. You may be able to afford it. 800-951-0592. Final segment coming up. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. Gold's now up 20. I can see gold up 30 or 40 before the end of the day today. Really, really easily. But right now, 29.15. Boy, these $20 gold pieces, they just get better. Right now, we're at $29.95. It's going to be the last time, at least if gold stays here or goes higher, because we're anticipating gold going higher again this week, that you can buy below $3,000. Take advantage of it. 800-951-0592. Silver's now in positive territory as well, up 5 cents here. I also anticipate tonight to be embarrassing. And what I mean by that, I think that what we're being told is the Democrats are going to be plotting interruptions and noisemakers, props. I guess some of them are saying they're going to be bringing eggs. This is just a bad look for America, for sure, Jason. Jason loves it, right? Jason's like, because he's that guy that watches he likes to see the wrecks. Jason watches football because he wants the big hit, watches NASCAR to see the wreck. It's going to be a wreck tonight.
Is the eggs a prop? Are the eggs a prop, or are they going to throw them?
I don't think they'll throw them.
You're saying about gold going up higher today. It seems like the tougher Trump talks, the higher gold goes. I mean, he was running for president before 2024, but all through 2024, as he talked tougher and tougher, gold just kept going up and up. So if he comes in there and he starts shaming Democrats. What time is this thing tonight? 7 o'clock? What is this thing? I'm going to have to watch this. Maybe pop some popcorn or something. Let's see if we got another Zelensky episode coming our way. Because gold tomorrow might be the thing where, who knows? Gold another $10 a day. Who knows? But maybe tomorrow. He may talk so tough today. Gold decides, we're going to just add $50 to gold. And let's get that thing to $3,000 tomorrow. I mean, that's in effect that could happen. That could happen.
Just remember, we got 10 days to get this government funding thing figured out. So on the 14th, so there's not a lot of of time left here. There's so many things that are going to go on. I think it's going to be disruptive, something where, again, I think both sides will be happy, right? The Trump supporters are going to love his toughness, and I think the Democrats will love their whatever their antics are going to be. But when we focus in here on what really is going, here you go, gold's up 24, like I said, don't worry, don't pay attention. I don't know anything. I've only been doing this how long? $20 gold pieces, $29.95, below 3,000 for how much longer? I don't know. It's all going to be about jobs, though. Tomorrow, well, obviously, the speech, how that goes, it's going to be all about jobs the rest of this week. And then everyone's going to focus in on funding. Are we going to be able to get some type of funding bill put together? How much money are they going to spend? Let me just tell you, that's an easy one. A lot. 800-951-0592.